organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, find out what one UI student group is doing to end modern slavery.
Plus, we visit with the latest candidate vying for an Iowa Senate seat.
And in sports, a bye week in football gives us a chance to hear from offensive and defensive coordinators Ken O'Keefe and Norm Parker. More on what they have to say about this 2011 squad.
That and more is coming your way next.
Daily Iowan TV starts now. Thanks for tuning in to your Thursday edition of Daily Iowan TV, your television news, sports, and weather source for the Daily Iowan. I'm Josh Bolander.
And I'm Dana Davidson. The UI is a great place to be if you get B's. U.S. News & World Report, which ranks colleges and universities, recently released the top list of schools for B average students, with the UI coming in at number 8. The list looked to catalog the schools that offer a top-quality education while accepting a significant proportion of non-A students. The UI is considered a more selective and had a fall 2010 acceptance rate of 84%.
Human trafficking still exists in America every day, and a new student organization on campus is bringing awareness to the topic. Daily Iowan TV's Adrian Crossley tells us how the group is looking to end this hidden tragedy.
The issue of slavery in America has always been a touchy subject. Many seem to believe that slavery is no longer an issue that plagues our country. Every day in the United States, individuals fall victim to the perpetrators of modern-day slavery. According to the United Nations, human trafficking is the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons by means of threat or use of force or other forms of coercion, of abduction, of fraud, of deception, of the benefits to achieve the consent of a person having control over another person for the purpose of exploitation. Students Abolishing Slavery is a new student organization on the University of Iowa campus that is working toward educating students on the subject.
The Trafficking Victims Protection Act is going to expire this Friday, September 30th, and this is something that Students Abolishing Slavery does not want to happen, and we're completely for it getting re-updated because legislation was created and is continued to be updated because different forms of human trafficking are continuously being created. And so
SAS plans to host many events this year to raise money and awareness for their cause, one of which will be a pajama party on November 3rd where they will sell pajama pants and jewelry made by the victims of human trafficking.
What we already had an event was in the Farness screening, which touched more base about human trafficking domestically and internationally around the world. And it's basically just kind of like an opening to like what's.
If you are interested in joining SAS, you can email them at iowa.sas1@gmail.com. Adrian Crossley, Daily Iowan TV.
For more information on human trafficking or students abolishing slavery and their events, you can join their Facebook page at facebook.com/IowaSAS.
The UI is looking to go green on the go by reducing carbon emissions from the CAM buses. The CAM buses are already using about 20% biofuel throughout most of the year and have new policies been put in place to reduce the amount of time buses spend idling. The university even swapped out some of its older buses for newer, more efficient ones. Officials have looked into purchasing new electronic buses but say that the initial cost is simply too high for now. Electronic buses currently make up about 17% of the bus fleet at Iowa State.
Police arrested an Iowa City man after he allegedly had multiple sexual interactions with a 13-year-old girl. 25-year-old Charles Everett O'Leary was charged with third-degree sexual abuse after admitting he was aware of the victim's age. Police say that on September 28th and at least one other occasion, O'Leary participated in sexual acts with the young girl at 7 Valley Avenue in Iowa City. This address is not associated with the victim or O'Leary, as he is claimed to have no permanent residence. Still more to come on Daily Iowan TV. Meet the latest candidate running for the Iowa Senate.
Plus, we take a look at the likelihood that the Big Ten will continue to expand. But first, Daily Iowan TV's Nick Fetty joins us in the studio for a look at your local weather forecast. Nick?
Thanks, Dana. It was kind of breezy today and really kind of chilly all week, but after tomorrow, hopefully, that will be behind us for a while. Tomorrow morning will be chilly with temps around 49 degrees. It should warm up around lunchtime, though, with a midday high of about 60 degrees. And then as we head into the evening, it's looking to cool off again, with temperatures dipping around 59 degrees. And like I said, tomorrow should be the last of the cold weather, at least for a while, looking at the extended forecast. We should see a warm-up with temperatures in the low 60s climbing to nearly 70 by Sunday. On Monday, we should be looking at a high of about 75 degrees, and we'll even hit the low 80s by next Wednesday and Thursday. And with warmer weather, we're looking at sunny skies all week long. That's your check at the weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Nick. On Wednesday night, the Lynn County Democrats nominated Liz Mathis as their candidate for the open Iowa Senate seat. A special convention was held after Swati Dandekar resigned from the position because of her appointment to the Iowa Utility Board. Mathis talked about her plans and how she is ready to focus on the community and jobs after accepting her nomination.
And why?
Business and jobs and education. Those really, they're the big three, and they all go hand in hand. So there's no one single issue that I'm going to focus on. It's business, jobs, education.
Mathis will be running in a hotly contested race as the District 18 seat will decide the party majority in the Iowa Senate. If Republicans win a majority, hot-button issues such as abortion and gay marriage could be back on the Senate agenda.
From stagnant to spirited, the job market is seeing sunnier skies as the number of people seeking unemployment benefits fell last week. The U.S. Labor Department reported a significant decrease in the applications for weekly benefits by nearly 37,000 to their lowest level since August. To show substantial growth, however, officials say applications need to fall another 16,000. A Labor Department spokesperson reported that part of the decrease could be due to technical difficulties. But on the optimistic side, the 4-week average fell to 417,000, signaling the first decrease in 6 consecutive weeks.
GOP presidential candidate Newt Gingrich was in Des Moines Monday to talk about his plan for how to reform American politics. Gingrich laid out a 10-point plan which he called his 21st century contract with America that included changes to health care, Social Security, and energy production. Gingrich said that the most important thing was to maintain Americans' ability to choose things like health care rather than to be forced to follow nationwide mandates.
And so if you're serious about saving the country and you're serious about moving forward, you've got to start with that design.
The release of his plan comes 2 days after the 17th anniversary of his original contract with America that he released as a Speaker of the House back in 1994.
But now Daily Iowan TV Sports' Chelsea Byrne joins us in the studio. And Chelsea, it's kind of a weird week without football to look forward to.
It is, but the Hawkeye coaching staff is using this extra time to prepare for Penn State on the 8th. In a rare Thursday afternoon press conference, Kirk Ferentz and assistant coaches Norm Parker and Ken O'Keefe met with the media to discuss the Hawkeyes as they approached the bye week. Daily Iowan TV Sports' Nick Robertson was able to get the details.
After finishing their non-conference schedule with a 3-1 record, the Iowa Hawkeye football team now gets a chance to take a breath before starting in on their Big Ten schedule. That allowed Coach Kirk Ferentz to show his lighter side to the media on Thursday.
But we took some time as a staff and just have talked a lot of things out, and I think right now we're kind of in the position right now. I think we'll probably go about 50% blitz the rest of the season, 100% no huddle. So that's really what we've come up with. That's what we've come up with over the last couple of days here. Other than that, we've been playing cards and just some of the guys have been out golfing, stuff like that.
Coach Parker was quick to emphasize the need for experience for his young defense to continue to progress, but reassured that progress has in fact been made.
Yeah, I see it improving really at every segment. I see the defensive line improving. I see the linebackers improving. I see the secondary improving. I think we can do more things. We can make more adjustments than we could 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, if we had to make an adjustment, that was like a major crisis.
Coach O'Keefe, on the other hand, gave some insight to the collaboration that occurs on the sidelines between players and the coaches during the game.
I'll get with the quarterbacks and just run back through, the charted plays that we just finished running, and that's what and then, we'll talk about each of those plays, good, bad, indifferent, things we could have done different, things he saw or I should, whatever. So it's a mutual effort.
The press conference on Thursday afternoon not only gave us a look at the football team, but at the many personalities behind it. Nick Robertson, Daily Iowan TV, Sports.
Thanks, Nick. The Iowa football team returns to action next week against Penn State. But the rest of the Big Ten season kicks off this weekend with games that will already have fans on the edges of their seats. The Wisconsin-Nebraska night game on Saturday is the first of those that come to mind. And as Nebraska opens up its first ever Big Ten Conference football game this weekend, we are reminded of all the conference expansion talk that is still happening today. And with all the rumors swirling around, it can be hard for the average college sports fan to keep up. Daily Iowan TV Sports' Tyler Culver found out what a school looks for when thinking about switching conference affiliations.
The summer of 2011 flew by for college football fans thanks to the continuous rumors that spread about what could or what should happen with college football conferences. But the driving forces behind the decision for a school to change conference affiliations isn't just solely based on football. It comes down to athletic department revenue and school exposure. When Nebraska joined the Big Ten, it gained more than just attention to its upcoming football season.
The nice thing about what Big Ten has is you have all these other programs who get all this exposure. For example, Nebraska volleyball. Everybody knows about their football team. Well, their volleyball team packs their gym every time. They had Penn State in there. They fill it up. It's on national television. And now you have these other sports that get the exposure you wouldn't get in the ACC or the Big 12.
A national audience to attract athletes from across the country to Husker sports hasn't been a bad bonus to joining the Big Ten.
It's a big pull. It not only helps give exposure to the sports, but I think it also helps in recruiting.
It's not just the exposure that schools are attracted to, though. The revenue in college sports differs depending on conference TV contracts, and some have bigger ones than others. For instance, in the Big Ten Conference, revenue mainly from bowls and TV contracts are divided up equally amongst member schools. But in the Big 12, 76% of the revenue is divided equally, and the other 24% is given out in accordance with each team's television appearances. Texas and Oklahoma in particular get a big boost this way. So all the conference expansion talk is not just about getting your football team to play a more highly ranked opponent or in bigger games. It's more about what's good for the school as a whole. Tyler Culver, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
And with all this talk about conference realignment, it can be a little bit confusing, but you have to admit it keeps things interesting.
Yep, definitely. Certainly keep our eye on it going forward.
Yes.
And only with Daily Iowan TV can you get a sneak peek at Friday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Read about some nonprofits that could suffer if a reduction in federal funding goes through, plus how a local bridge is being restored 3 years after the 2008 flooding.
And before we go, let's take one last look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Tomorrow will be sunny with a high of 65 degrees, and we'll be looking at an overnight low of 37.
That's your Thursday edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to tune in Sunday at the same time or check us out anytime at dailyiowan.com.
For Daily Iowan TV, thanks for watching and have a great night.